We're in the middle of determining which Tanoim hold what about the issue of Breira, and then we had, let's see here, right. So we had Rabbi Yossi, who we thought contradicted himself, because we said in the Mishnah by the Mishnah of Kinim, it seemed that Rabbi Yossi does not hold, that Rabbi Yossi holds of Breira, which would have contradicted his earlier position of Ein Breira, to which we answered that no, it's about a different. We used Rav Chizda that it was already predetermined, and they had said it earlier, and therefore it's all good. Okay, so but again, so it was Rabbi Yossi and Reb Shimon who had said Aser, which means they held Ein Breira. That was based on the Bryce of the Mishnah of Halokech Yayin Ben Akusim, or maybe it was a Bryce, but based on the Halokech Yayin Ben Akusim, Rabbi Yossi was on record saying that case does not work. Okay, then we brought this case, we took care of it. Now we're going to bring another case. Actually, we started this already. We're actually Lamazayim at Beis V'akati, second line. Let's go over it again. We just did it very briefly. V'akati savar Rabbi Yossi Ein Breira. I still don't want to buy into the fact that you hold Ein Breira for Rabbi Yossi. V'tanya amar sh'amalachaver kachli aguda achas. Okay, what about this Bryce that says when the Amoritz tells the Chaver, the Talmud Chacham, to buy me a bundle of vegetables, shal yerek or gluska achas, or a loaf of bread, and it's orchlasa diva Rabbi Yossi. Now Rabbi Yossi says that in giving the bundle to the ani, to the Amoritz, he does not have to take meiser. Clearly, now he didn't mark it. He just had a bunch of vegetables or a bunch of challahs that he bought from the store, kept it around in his house, and then when it came time to give it to him, he gave it to him. So how would it not be considered? How do you know to determine which one is his and which one is not? Must be you the only way you can get. And if it was his, and he's giving what he owns to the Amoritz, he would have to take mice. You can't let something leave your hand without taking off Trumas and mice. If you're a Talmud Chacham, you got to keep things above board, okay, top of the line. And yet the halacha is, Rabbi Yossi says, you don't have to. Must be that retroactively we determine whatever he gives to the Amoritz is what the Amoritz was designated for originally, even though it didn't happen, even though we didn't originally designate anyone for the Amoritz. The Chum say you have to take meiser. So here you have another brayso proving Rabbi Yossi does buy into Breira. So Eipach, not the end of the world. Just turn them around. Okay, make a slight adjustment. You've got just make Rabbi Yossi the one who says that you have to take meiser because he doesn't hold a Breira, and it's a Chum who say you don't have to, and the Chum do hold a Breira, and everything now remains consistent. Let's catch up on the Rashis. I don't think we did any of the Rashis here. Right, he was going to buy stuff for himself. You buy also for me. If you're going anyway to the shuk, buy me some vegetables. Ein tzorach chaver la'aser demai. Miosa shosein la'amoritz. The chaver does not have to take off demai from that which he bought, from that which he gave, from that which he gave to the Amoritz, he doesn't have to separate. Even though when he bought it stam for both of them. He didn't designate this one's for the Amoritz, this one's for me. Well, Pirush Kishakanu Zeli Vizel Amoritz, right? Exactly what I just said. V'hu me Amoritz Lokhan, and he bought from Amoritz, right? It wasn't one of those Badatz stores. Right, it was a regular guy selling stuff in the shuk, and who knows? You have to assume it came from an Amoritz, but didn't come from a Talmud Chacham, and you got to take Shumas Amaisis from it. There was no Badat sign on the stand. Yesh Breira. So Amoritz Lakhan Yesh Breira Kshasal Amoritz. We hold that there is retroactive clarification when you give it to the Amoritz. That I bought this for him. And it's not that the chav is selling it to him, which is the other way of looking at it, that everything belongs to the Talmud Chacham. And then when he comes back and he gives him the thing, so and you give me the money, in a sense it's a new acquisition for the Amoritz. And if that would be the case, you would have to take Trumas Ma'aser. We don't say that. We say, no, it was retroactive. This was what belonged to you all along, and all is good. Chacham say no. The Ein Breira, because they don't hold a retroactive clarification. And therefore you're able to say that this was bought for the needs of the chaver. And he then changed it and exchanged it with the Amoritz. And the Talmud Chacham is not allowed to let anything out of his hands and sell anything to the Amoritz without rectifying it and making sure it's perfectly edible. Okay, so that proved that Rabbi Yossi holds Yesh Be'er, and we turned the people around, did a little editing job, and saying that what you thought was Rabbi Yossi is really the Chachamim, what was the Chacham is really Rabbi Yossi. And now the world is still good. And Rabbi Yossi is still a man who does not buy into Breira. So Toshima, let's try again. I'll still prove that I'm not letting up. Let's try this one, Toshima. So come in here. If you say, right, you have Meiser Shady in your house, this is the stuff that you're going to bring to Shalayim, and you have to, in order to handle it, in order to be able to bring it to Shalayim, you can't bring pounds and pounds of vegetables. You transfer it onto money, take the money to Shalayim, and you buy, with the money, you buy grain, or whatever you want to buy there that allows you to buy, that the Torah allows you to buy with the Meiser Sheni money. So you want to desanctify the actual grain in your house on Selashatali Biyodi Minakis, on a coin that will come up from my hand. I'm going to go into my little pocketbook there and pick up a coin, and the coin that comes up is going to be the coin that all of that stuff gets transferred on. So Rabbi Yossi says it's desanctified. So how does that work? If it's desanctified onto the coin, and I didn't pick the coin yet, right? I've got 10 coins in my little purse there, and I don't know which coin. Now when I pick it up, and what I said was, whichever coin I pick up is the one that's going to be the coin. So doesn't that require retroactive clarification, that after I pick it up, that then my words become clarified onto those coins? It's a little bit relying on Breira. Okay. Yeah, okay, it's not so classic, but I guess at the end of the day, you didn't say after you picked up the coin you want it to be transferred. You said it before you picked up the coin, and you didn't designate which coin. And now this designation retroactively works to clarify your earlier words. So that seems to be a Breira issue, and Rabbi Yossi says it's okay.
Doesn't the coin have to have the value, at least the value of the money?
Let's assume it does, yes. Let's assume it does.
So you ate the produce right away, right?
You're allowed to. I mean,
right.
Yeah, you're free to eat the produce because you just desanctified
it.
it.
Out of the purse. Before you took the coin out of the purse, you can eat it.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
so some sense.
I mean, I'm not sure that's why that's so critical, but
because that's for sure, Breira.
Yeah. Okay. What happens if the coin never? I don't know. I mean, let's see, Rash. I'm not sure why you have to run to such a chiddush, because what happens if the wind comes, takes all the coins, and throws it into the sea, and then you never take the coin? I'm not sure, but whatever.
Right. That's the problem.
No, but I think you have Breira even before you get to the fact that I don't have to run to that chiddush. Just the fact that it works. That I don't have to say, oh, now that I have this coin, everything of my Sheni should become desanctified onto this coin. You don't need that coin to be there. You can clarify it later, an hour later.
But you don't know which coin it is.
What?
You said you got like 10 coins in this purse.
Yeah, chances are, probably Ephraim's right, because we do it by Shabbos too. We say I'll leave it over at the end. We're not choishish. You're going to pour it out and spill it out. I mean, there are people who are choishish, but you see that there's an opinion that says we're not worried about you losing the coins or whatever. So, but yeah, so.
But you don't know which coin. In other words, when
right. That's where Breira comes in.
You don't know which coin it is. So
But you're going to pick a coin, and when you pick that coin, it's going to be valid. Becomes the one. That's Breira. That's exactly Breira. So let's see. So Amos, so before we get to see the Rashi, let's just answer this point. Eimer B'Yosi Eimer Loy Chilo. Another editing job. Editing job number 2. Instead of saying Rabbi Yosi Chilel, we say Rabbi Yosi Eimer Loy Chilel. Okay, so it's again, we're switching around the one who says yes and the one who says no. Rabbi Yosi says no instead of Rabbi Yosi saying yes. And there's a Chacham there who end up saying the other way. Okay, so before we get to the next question, let's do the Rashi. Rabbi Yosi Omer Chilel, v'chisolek sela biyadei, and when that coin reaches his, he reaches his hand, when he goes into his purse and picks up the coin, Aminan yesh beira, shezui shechilel, ma'isi shenoleh. Okay, this is the one that he had designated all along. The aim breira, okay, because if you hold aim breira and you don't hold a retroactive clarification, lo yamamidi. Okay, he didn't say a thing. Elamrinon the high seller the salkabedi hasha lo avidaite lahachlif. Okay, but what would we say? He says lo yamamidi elamrinon the high seller the salkabedi. This coin that he just took up in his hand right now hasha lo avidaite lahachlif. He has no intention right now of transferring it over. Okay, because in other words, if you hold a vein breyer, you'd have to make a new statement of clarifying what it is that you're doing. Just because you have a coin in your hand doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove you want to do it. You got to do it now. You got to do it after you have the coin if you don't hold a breyer. Vishtakach, it's going to come out that if you allow this coin to be the valid coin without a new designation, you're eating ma'aser without a valid redemption. So he doesn't stress the point that you're able to eat it already. He just says the point is that you didn't take a valid hafrasha. Okay, so it seems like that's not a critical point. The bottom line is how in the world do you understand that it's a valid? It doesn't require a new redemption. It must be Rabbi Yossi holds a breira, and where it says the Gemara answers, we're going to do the second editing job in a row and say Rabbi Yossi holds it does not work as opposed to saying it does work. To which Gemara says, I mean, come on, isn't that a little bit strange? Umay chaz, back to the Gemara. Umay chaz is the afchis tarte mikami chada, epe chada mikami tarte. If you got 3 different sources and you're editing 2 and leaving 1 as is, maybe it would make sense to edit the 1 and leave the 2 as is. Leave the 2 holding Rabbi Yossi holds of Breira, and then just change the original one where Rabbi Yossi jumps on the Yesh Breira bandwagon. Why do you have to switch 2 in front of 1, switch 1 in front of 2? Okay, what are the 2? Look at Rashi. Why do you have to edit the bunch of vegetable brisa and the ma'aser sheni brisa? Right? It was that brisa of the wine that he bought from the kusim that seemed to indicate what Rabbi Yossi held regarding yes breira. And here, I'm sorry, Rabbi Yossi holding no breira. Here he seemed to hold yes breira. Just switch that around, and you'd be much easier. You don't have to switch 2. You can only switch 1. To which the Gemara comes back and says back to the Gemara, where it says, "No, you can't. Nice try, but it's not going to work. I know Rabbi Yossi holds ein breira, and therefore that's why I have to switch these around." Havadai ibcha. Okay, he says. Because I have to turn this around. It's not possible to learn this brisa as Rabbi Yossi holding Yesh Beira. Why? Havada Ibcha Tanya, the Tani Sefer, because if you look at the Sefer, you will see that this Rabbi Yossi is clearly a non-Breira individual. Because why? Because it says, Rabbi Yossi, the brisa continues, and it says like this, that last brisa about the coins with the Ma'aser Sheni. It says, and Rabbi Yossi admits, I have some brand new coins in my pocketbook, in my purse, and I want the Ma'aser Sheni to be desanctified on a new coin that I have in my thing. Now, if you only had 1 new coin, is that Breira? Right? If you say you have a specific coin, a new coin, the new coin that I have in my purse, I want that to be the coin. That would not be Breira. That would be good. So, and Rabbi Yossi admits to that. So what's Rabbi Yossi admitting? That there I don't need Breira, and that's why it works. And in the other cases which do require Breira, it does not work. So you see from the continuation of the Brisa that Rabbi Yossi is clearly a man who does not buy into Breira from that whole Moed Rabbi Yossi thing. And then you want to switch Umod and say Mod Chacham? That's already too much switching. Because once you have it on record, Moed Rabbi Yossi, that's like a definitive statement. We don't want to play with that and say that's the Chachamim, because then we'd be switching two against two basically. Two for two, might as well just stick to the original assumptions. Okay, so 1 second. Mida kamar right, so Mida kamar, we're continuing the Gemara. Mida kamar hacha shechilel. Since he says here it does work to desanctify it, it's not a problem. Michlal, I can infer the hasam loichilo. In the other cases, his position was it does not work. So clearly he's the non-Breira Tana, not the Chachamim. Whereas, okay, it's all fine and dandy, but let me just understand what exactly is this case. What exactly is he admitting to? What exactly is this new coin all about? If he had 2 or 3 new coins in his purse, well then we're back to where he started from. He says the Eish Breira, that we're relying on Breira to clarify which of the new coins he is picking to desanctify. Hainu Kamaisa. It's exactly the first case. No difference between old coins and new coins. If you got a bunch of new coins and you haven't really identified one yet that relies on Breira, and it should not be valid. Ela deleka lechoda. Okay, so you only have one. That's the only way it makes sense is to say you only have one. So my tala. The word tala means emerges. You know that comes up. What do you mean? What comes up? You know what it is? There's only one in your purse. So what are you saying? Tala. The word tala implies the one that I choose from the number of coins will be the one. That one you choose. You're going to choose only one. There's only one new coin in there. What do you mean tala? The word tala is very misleading. To which Yomar says maybe, but I did Tana Reisha Tala, Tana Sefer Nami Tala. Symmetry is a very important function of Tanon. They like symmetry. So in Echlami, the word Tala doesn't really fit, but since the first case needed the word Tala in order to drive home the Breira message of either yes and no, but it's a Breira case, we use the same word Tala, even though we don't really mean Tala. We mean the one that the one and only new coin that he chooses will be the one. The word Tala is still used, even though it's not really the best word for it. Okay, let's see Rashi. The Tani Seifa, the reason why I know you can't, there's no reason to switch the one instead of the two, is because there's a clear statement, the Tani Seifa, the Achilul, in this case, the Chilul, Selach Hadasha Vein Shemel He, and there's only one coin. Will come Parach My Tala. And the Gemara will ask, then why is the word Tala being used that you're choosing the one, not choosing the one? Right? If the Let's Make a Deal only had one door, right? So there's not 3 doors to choose from, then it's not a big deal. You're not choosing one. It's just, that's the one. So what do you mean, Tala? So Teretz is, Shechilel, right? This is the case where he says that the new coin that I choose, the kivin the Ein Sham Chadasha Elihi Min Kormilsa. Since there's only one coin, it's recognizable which coin it is, and that's not Breira. So wait a minute. What's exactly the case? If there are 2 or 3 coins, Chadoshos, Hainukamaisa, that's exactly the same as the first case. And why would you say it's desanctified when they should not be, since you're not a Breira person? To which Gemara says that no, it's only one coin, and Tala doesn't really fit, but we're using it anyway, and now ready to go weiter. Okay, let's move right along here. Amlei Rava, slightly above the middle of the page. Amlei Rav Rav Nachman. Rava says to Rav Nachman, Man Haitana Dafil B'Rabbanan L'Asay Breira. Who is the one? Now again, there's one thing about not buying into Breira on a deraistic issue, like Ma'aser Sheni is deraisa, things like that are deraisa clearly, and taking truma and meiser off the wine, those are deraistic issues. But then you have rabbinic cases too. Maybe in rabbinic cases there is breira. So he wants to know who is the author of the opinion Man Haitan Oma who said Man Haitan Dafil B'Rabbanan L'Asay Breira. Who's the opinion that even when it comes to a rabbinic issue, still they don't hold a breira? Not only do they not hold a breira, when it comes to a deraisa, they don't even hold breira when it comes to Rabbanan. How do I know that there's such an opinion altogether? The Tanya. So I'll show you, because let's learn this rabbinic case of this brisa. Amul Chamisha, man says to 5 people, I'm going to do you guys a favor, one of you guys a favor. There are 5 of you, I have 5 buddies, okay, we just finished a poker game, and I'm telling you, you know what, I'm going to do one of you guys a favor. I'm going to make an Eruv. You might want to go 4,000 Amos, one of these Shabbosos, so I'm going to make an Eruv in that direction, in case that whatever, concert you want to go to, and this chazan is going to be davening, and you love that chazan, I'm going to make an Eruv for you, for one of you 5, but it's not going to be for all of you, for only going to be one of you, and I'm going to tell you later who I made it for. I'll determine, if you guys are nice to me, I'll tell you which one gets the Eruv that I make. And I'm going to put the Eruv down, I'm going to buy the challah, I'm going to do everything, I'm going to do the schlepping, I'm going to do one of you 5 guys a favor, but I'm not telling you which one I'm doing it for. Let's see, that also well depends. Let's see if it requires retroactive clarification or not. Okay, so one more time. Amul Chamisha, man says to 5 people, I'm going to make an error for any one of you that I want. Okay, if I want to make it for this guy, he can go. Or but if I don't choose that guy, then he can't go. So it's all up to me. This guy's, taking the power of this Eruv all onto himself. Ratzin Bojom, if he agrees and says, okay, Yankel, you're the man. If he says that before Shabbos starts, well, then that's good, because that's not Breira. I designated for Yankel before Shabbos hits. Ratzin Bojom, Eruv Eruv. But if it's already Shabbos, and now I retroactively want to say, Yankel, I want you to be the one who received my Eruv, even though I never said it at the time when Shabbos hit, and Eruv Eruv, it's too late. So you see, Tchumen is Rabbanon, and yet retroactive clarification doesn't work. So who's the author of this brisa that on record, even rabbinically, does not buy into Breira? Ishtik. So Rav Nachman was quiet. He didn't have an answer. He didn't know. You want a name? I don't have a name for you. He didn't say a word to him. So, really? Why didn't he say to him, Tana de Be'ayo? We know who that Tana is. It's remember that Tana that Ayo quoted, that even on the din of Eruv, we needed to switch Abud around and say that he did not hold of Breira, as opposed to him buying into Breira? Who? Why doesn't he say that Tana is the Tana of Ayo, who he quoted? And the Moran says that's not a kasha. Well, you expect Rav Nachman to know every brisa? You think he knows every Mishnah, but no Amir is expected to know every brisa. That some of them maybe did, but Rav Nachman didn't know Shmuel. He didn't hear this brisa. It's not a kasha. So don't ask me kasha why he was quiet. He was quiet because he wasn't sure, because he was not aware of the Ayo brisa. Rashi, man haitana de b'ina l'meima de lesle breira fil be'eruvei b'drabanan. Who is the author? Give me a source for who would say that even on a rabbinic issue like Tchumen, we would still say ein breira. How do you know there is such a Tana? I'll prove it to you. Aleza mehen she'eretz ha'ritzisi yelech lo ritzisi lo yelech. If I want him to go, he'll go. If I don't want him to, he won't go. Ratzon bo jom mishachshech ein erev. And if he did it after it got dark, it's not a good erev. Why? Dilma ben Hashmashos lo avedai tilahai. Because who's to say this was his das when ben Hashmashos said? Clearly, it wasn't. You want this to clarify what your das was early, even though you had no das. You want this to be, Mama Shabrera Dika revelation that retroactive. This is what you really felt. Well, he didn't know.
It's simpler than that. Those guys can't eat from the Eruv because they don't know whose it is. So once they can't eat from it,
no, but I'm going to. Well,
they can't eat from it. Benish Mashos.
I mean, they could eat from it. We just don't know who. There was one person who could have eaten from it. Somebody could eat. Somebody could eat from it.
Somebody was going to be able to eat from it.
Okay.
Well,
The control
he's
freak.
setting it up that someone won't be able to eat from it until Shabbos starts.
Well, I mean, but that's really
So Benish Mashos, nobody can eat from it.
okay. But that's more of a technicality. It was definitely edible to one of them.
It was edible to everybody.
We don't know when he even decided.
He says mishach shecha. If he decided after it already got dark. We're saying it doesn't work. So why doesn't it work? Because had you held a brera, then it comes out retroactively. This one could have eaten from it. He couldn't. Well, we've said the fact that he couldn't, as long as somebody could. I mean, I hear you. At that point, really, no one could. Very interesting. Okay, I guess that's what Brera does. Even that, Brera says retroactively, you really were able to eat from it, or somebody was, because,
Well, the guy that's setting it up is the only one that can eat from it.
It comes out technically,
right.
In London, you could have
That's part of the Brera. That's part of the Brera.
does. Right, exactly.
Well, Brera is a very lumdish thing.
And in London, I'm satisfied.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Oops. So, okay. So the answer is, well, how come he didn't know? Why did Rav Nachman stay quiet like he didn't know? Why didn't he just quote him the Ayo Brisa that clearly made it clear to us that he was not a Brera man, even rabbinically. Tanamei, I look at Rashi. Alib Rabbi Yehuda, the Be'erev Nami Kamer Ein Brera. Even by Erev he said Ein Brera. That's why he switched it around. The answer is, O Shmielei Mehanach Tanoi Delei Lomotzi Omar. The Kulamili, the Raisin, all of these early Brises that we just quoted after the Ayo Brisa are all Deraisic issues. Maisa Sheni, Shumis and Maisris, all these things are all Deraisa. So you can't bring from there because that would not be a good example. Fine. Ratzisi, what's that? That's Weiter? Yeah. Okay. Let's go Weiter. Rav Yosef Omar Tenoi. I'm sorry. Rav Yosef Omar Tenai Shekalta Mialma. Okay. And Rav Yosef said, I'm not sure, what's your big question? Who's the Tana who does not hold of Brera rabbinically? What, you've removed every Tana from the world where there's a shortage of Tanaim around, that for me to find a Tana that does not buy into Brera rabbinically? Tanoi, it's right there. It's not hard to find. Machlok is Tanoim. And I'll show you the brisa that argues about a rabbinic issue. And one says yes, one says no. Clearly, it's not hard to find the Tana that says Erev does not work rabbinically. The Tanya, like it says in the brisa, Hareini mi'arev l'shabaso shekol hashana. I am now going to make an Erev for all of the Shabbosos of the entire year. Okay, Ratzisi Elech. If I choose to make an Erev for a particular Shabbos, I can then go to hear the Chazan 4,000 amos away. If I feel like I want to stay home, then I want to keep the option of having this my home, in which case I can go 2,000 amos any direction. So I'm going to decide. So I'm doing an Erev for the year, but week by week I'm going to determine what my Erev is going to be. Let's see here. So if he decides before a given Shabbos, during the day, Friday afternoon, Eruv, his Eruv is valid, because same type of deal. That does not require Brera. He decided before Shabbos, I want my Eruv to connect, to be, what? Right, the faraway one to be, ignite, right, what's what I'm looking for? Just... turned on, a different word, but whatever. What?
Effective.
Okay, something like the ignition is, activated. Thank you. Oh, okay, activated. Okay, so that so then it works. But if you want to activate it already after it gets dark, which would rely on Brera, Rabbi Shimon says, go ahead, go with the Brera. It's all good. The Chum say it does not work. So you gotta go too far to find a Tana right here. It's a Chacham who argued with Reb Shimon who holds that this is the way it is. Okay, I'm not sure really what I'm not sure what really Rav Yosef found another Tana. We already had a Tana. I guess he wanted to know who it was, but whatever. I guess it's a Chachamim, right? Because when Rava asked Rav Nachman, he asked him who is the one of this brisa. So we already had a brisa that said Eruv doesn't work rabbinically. He's just showing him another brisa, I guess, because the name says a chachamim, maybe makes it better, makes it more clear that it's a chachamim who argued with Shimon. Okay, so l'chayra, it's no shortage of tanoim, and we have a whole slew, because chacham sound like more than one. Chacham means it's a majority, so it's at least two tanoim who argue with Reb Shimon. Let's do the Rashi. He put his Erev 2,000 amas away to the east in a place where it's protected. This had to be matzah. Challah would not last a whole year. So he put the matzah. Okay, we know from all the Pesach programs that use 2-year-old matzah that matzah does last. Okay, not any that I know of personally, but no. Anyway, and he puts the Erev there for the year. Okay, kula shebishash sheyirtza yikne lo eruvo. That shebishabbos sheyirtza, and in Shabbos that he designates that he wants his Erev to work for him. So he's going to activate it on a week by week basis. Shabbos sheyirtza and a Shabbos that he doesn't want to activate it, he's going to be like the members of his city. And he doesn't want to lose the 2,000 amma option to go to the west. So he's going to not activate it so he can go to the west. That's where the action is this particular Shabbos. So, Eruv, V'yesh Beira. It is activated even after dark. The Bein Hashmashos Daitei Hachavit that we say retroactively. This was his das even before Shabbos. Okay, so there you have it. So Reb Shimon says no, and the Reb Shimon says yes, and the Chum say no. Reb Shimon says yes, and now we have a new problem. Let's back to the Gemara. Vashaminon Reb Shimon Delesle Beira. Reb Shimon was one of the ones in the Kusi Brisa with the wine. He's the one who said thumbs down. Okay, he said no. So Kasha Reb Shimon ad Reb Shimon. Okay, Ela Epach. Okay, so now we have a problem between one Reb Shimon and another. Reb Shimon in the Kusi Brisa says yes. Here he says no. I'm sorry, the other way around, right? There he says no, here he says yes. He says here, Eruv, right? Here he says yes. So what are you going to do? Ela Epach. You know what? Just switch it around. Reb Shimon here says no, and the Chum say yes. So Gemara says, what, you have to switch it around? You have such a simple answer. My kasha. What do you have to switch anything around? The Kusi Bryce is dealing with Trumas Samaiser, which is the Raisa. This Bryce deals with an Erev, which is Rabbanon. You just finished saying that there might be a distinction between Rabbanon and the Raisa. My kasha dil makila say the Reb Shimon Breira but the Raisa. Maybe Reb Shimon says thumbs down in the Kusi case of the wine is because Shumas Samaisis are the Raisa. Av Rabbanon Islay, but maybe rabbinically he does hold of Breira, and then you would have a perfect resolution without having to switching anybody. Reb Shimon is consistent. When it comes to the Raisa, he says no. When it comes to Rabbanon, he'll say yes. So why do you have to switch anything around? The answer is, what's the base? Kasavar, he holds, man, he takes out the words of Yosef. Okay, whatever, it doesn't really make a difference. Kasavar, man de islay breira, loishna b'derais, loishna b'drabanon. Okay, again, man de islay breira, loishna b'derais, loishna b'drabanon, islay. Okay, when the one who holds a Rav Yosef, this person who made the assertion originally and who said you have to turn things around, his opinion is that there's no distinction. If you hold Yesh Beira, you hold it both B'deraisa and Rabbanon. Uman the Leslie Beira, and the one that does not hold of Beira, Losha B'deraisa, Losha Rabbanon, Leslie. Yeah, if it's yes, it's a yes. If it's no, it's a no. And there's no distinctions, there's no games, no nothing. Okay, could we just finish the Rashis?
It's an un-Jewish statement.
What?
Everywhere else we differentiate between the rices and the rabbanas. We have kulas and chumras, and here you're telling me.
Yeah, well,
that's very un-Jewish.
Okay, actually, you know what? We did the Rashi. So Rav is tomorrow, Bez Hashem. Okay, thanks so much.